How did Nike go from selling shoes out of a car to becoming the world's largest sportswear brand ever? Contrary to what you might think, Nike's story actually comes from quite humble beginnings. In 1964, former University of Oregon track athlete Phil Knight partnered with his former coach Bill Bowerman to form Blue Ribbon Sports. Their plan was to import high-quality, low-cost running shoes from Japan to the US market to compete with brands like Puma and Adidas on affordability. They convinced the brand Onitsuka Tiger to let them sell their shoes in the US and initially started selling them out of Phil's car. As their demand grew and Bill continued to tinker with the designs, he finally presented Onitsuka with a new shoe design that turned out to be a major success, the Tiger Cortez. However, the relationship started to sour as there were claims that BRS was selling their own version of the Tiger Cortez under a new line called Nike. By 1971, the relationship completely broke down and Nike was founded, with both brands selling their own version of the shoe. Then a year later, Bowerman used a waffle iron to create the Waffle Sole, which provided better traction and cushioning, and again becoming a hit with runners. They soon followed up this triumph with another by signing their first endorser, Steve Prefontaine. He mirrored the Nike ethos and went on to set numerous American records, and this endorsement strategy would later become one of the most powerful tactics Nike used to grow their brand. By the late 70s, air technology was invented, which used air pockets in the soles of shoes and was first featured in the Nike Tailwind, but more on this later. Then, as the 80s rolled around, Nike were about to enter one of their most pivotal decades. Without even knowing it, Nike was about to make the greatest decision for the brand in its history: the signing of Michael Jordan. They first signed him in 1984 before he had established himself as a major NBA star. Together with the talent of Jordan and the new Air technology, they created the signature Air Jordan series, with the Air Jordan 1 being released in 1985. But it wasn't until 1987 with the release of the Nike Air Max where this innovation came to the forefront, with its visible air pockets. And then finally, to top the decade off even more, their iconic Just Do It campaign was launched in 1988, synonymizing the brand with pushing past your limits. Today, Nike sits at the top of the sportswear food chain, surpassing competitors like Adidas by almost double. They continue to make a series of successful signings across a range of sports and introduce tons of iconic silhouettes to the world. And of course, with this, a fair share of controversies, including sweatshop usage, low wages, and poor working conditions for their overseas factories. Despite this, Nike continues to dominate the mainstream. Its logo has become instantly recognizable and its ethos undeniable.